Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about company housing versus finding your own place. I'm also going to be touching base on different options that you have other than the typical finding your own apartment when traveling. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now let's talk about getting your own housing. Now for me personally, with all of my travel assignments, I've always opted to find my own housing. Reason being, number one, I am a total control freak. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I like to know where I'm gonna be living. I like it to be in a nice neighborhood. I like it to be close to my job. And I have a dog that I have to think about. So I like to be in control. So I like to take my time and find somewhere that I'm not only gonna be comfortable, but I am gonna be happy with. On top of that, whenever I take an assignment, I usually plan on being in that area for longer than 13 weeks. The places that I've traveled to, I specifically have picked those cities because I know that I'm gonna love it, or I have family there, or there's a specific reason why I'm going to that area. So for me, it was always better to invest in getting an actual apartment. So I basically just went the typical apartment way. I found an apartment, I paid my security deposit, I signed my lease, got my utilities, all of that, and I've never had an issue. Now, obviously, that's one way you can go, but you can also try different options. You can go through vacation rental websites like Airbnb or VRBO, where you can contact landlords directly and they can work with you on getting some type of housing. And sometimes that might become a lot more affordable. You can rent a room from them. You don't even have to rent the whole house. That's one way that you could save money. Another way is by going through corporate housing. Now this is a little bit more expensive. With corporate housing, it's kind of like between getting an apartment and getting a hotel room. It's a lot more expensive, but it's a lot more comfortable as well, because you'll have all the amenities that you need, and they're typically a lot nicer and they're in very nice areas. Furnished Finder. So this is a new one for me. I've never heard of Furnished Finder before, but Furnished Finder is actually a website that is specifically for travel nurses and people who work jobs similar to ours. And it connects you directly with landlords who work with travel nurses, and they know about the 13-week contract. They know what we expect, and they have been vetted and they've done this before. So basically they're experienced. So that's one way to go. The other thing that some people opt to do is travel in an RV. That'll save you a lot of money. You own your own RV, you get to park it in an RV lot, and then that way you don't have to worry about housing at all. Wherever you're going to your travel assignment, you take your house with you. Home sharing or roommate sharing websites. So that's another thing that you can use. You can go online and find roommate sharing websites where you basically could find somebody as a roommate, rent a room from them from 13 weeks, the duration of your contract. So you're basically just gonna have to worry about furnishing your room if it's unfurnished. Sometimes they'll already have a bed in there, and you'll just have to bring your personal belongings, and then for 13 weeks you'll be good to go. So that's another option. Extended stay hotels is another option that you may have. They are kind of in the mix between getting an apartment and staying at a hotel. Typically they come with a small kitchenette, so you'll kind of feel like you're at home, but you're not in a hotel. You can cook your own meals, and by staying longer than 30 days, you actually can negotiate and get a better rate. Another pro to finding your own place is that you have the option of settling in a little bit earlier and staying over a little bit longer after your contract is done. So you can move in about a week before your contract, kind of go through the area, go to the hospital, visit, get to know your city, get comfortable with your surroundings. Basically, you can move in as early as you want, and you could stay as long as you want after the fact. So it's a lot more autonomy in that way, and a lot of people like that. So when it comes to having your agency pay for your housing, the number one reason that people usually go this route is for the simplicity of it all. The company finds you your housing for you. They basically do all the work. They find the place, they talk to the landlord, they work up stipulations for you if you have a dog, and they kind of just do everything. So you basically come in, you get your key, you walk in, you do your assignment, and at the end of it, you give back the key and you walk out. So there's no upfront costs. There's no rent for the first month, last month, utilities, anything like that. The company pays for it all. But do keep in mind that your company is probably not going to pay for your internet. So that's a cost that you're going to have to pay out of pocket. And some companies won't pay for you to have a washer and dryer within your apartment. That's a luxury or an extra, so you may have to come out of pocket for that as well. But like I said, the simplicity of it all is usually what drives some nurses to go that route. If you are a first-time traveler, I would recommend that you go this route because you're probably already overwhelmed with having to move to another city and having to find your own housing and do all that. Probably is not something you want to add to your stress. But once you've done an assignment or two and you kind of get your feet wet in it all, maybe at that point you can move on and start trying to find your own housing. But then again, it's up to you. Evaluate yourself, evaluate your situation, and see what works best for you. So advice that I can give you just in general when it comes to finding housing is to just be upfront with your recruiter. Let them know your expectations. Let them know what is important to you so that they can work diligently in finding you somewhere that they feel like is up to your standards. And for them to also be honest with you. Let them know if you're not able to fulfill these obligations, get me in this area that I want to live in, or get me somewhere that allows me to bring my dog or bring my family, then let me know upfront so that I can start planning ahead and finding my own housing that would allow that. Some people have found that they get better treatment from landlords as well when they go through the company housing. Reason being, number one, the landlord is dealing with a large corporation. It's not just you. With a large corporation, they probably have multiple units within that complex that they are renting from the company, and they want to preserve that relationship. So if you ever have any concerns or any complaints, typically they are a lot more apt and readily available and wanting to fix those issues because they don't want to ruin that relationship that they have with your company. Another positive to getting the agency housing is that it safeguards you against cancellations. So say you go through all of this work, you get your own apartment, you get it furnished, you're all settled in, and then the day before you're supposed to start, your company calls you up and they tell you the hospital has canceled. So now you're stuck in an apartment and you don't have a job, and that could be frustrating. That's one of the risks that you're taking when you're getting your own place. But when you go through the company, if your contract is canceled, you don't have to worry about that because they will handle everything. They'll pay for the cancellation, they'll pay for you having to leave, so there is no worries about that. Alright guys, so that is the end of my video today. I hope that you like it, and I hope it has helped you towards making a decision as to what your living situation is going to be on your next travel assignment. So if you really liked this video, I'd love for you to thumbs up, show me that you liked it. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to comment under the video. And last but not least, don't forget to follow my channel. Follow so that you guys can be alerted when I post other videos. And that's pretty much it. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye!